Hey, Faithful. Welcome to another episode of Voice of a Niner Faithful. I'm Jason, your host. Today we'll be talking about two games, as normally I only talk about one, but because of the Thursday night game, well, those things happen. So we got the Bears game to talk about and the Rams game to talk about. And then, of course, the whole Devondre Campbell thing. That's a whole weird thing to talk about, but we'll get into all of that. But first, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on whatever you're watching this on, YouTube, uh, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're seeing this. Like, comment, and subscribe. All right, so let's start back at the Bears game. That was a good game. I thought 38-13. Brock Purdy for 20 for 25 for 325 yards. He threw two touchdowns. So no interceptions. I think he was sacked once. Maybe the stat reading I'm looking at ESPN behind my camera here, and 1 of 4. So I'm not sure what 1 of 4 means. I will have to look that up. But at least at minimum, he was sacked at least once. But that was a really great overall team game. Isaac Rendo, he ran for 78 yards on 15 carries, averaging 5 yards, a little over 5 yards a carry. Patrick Taylor carried for 7 times for 25 yards. Debo carried 5 times for 13 yards. Debo's game, that game really wasn't that thrilling. And we'll get into that because of what his comments on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it that he ended up deleting, saying he wanted to get the ball more. We'll go into that in a little bit. But Brock Purdy even ran it 5 times for 11 yards. I thought he did all right there. Passing wise, George Kittle had an awesome game that game. 6 catches, 151 yards, 6 targets, 6 catch. Every time he was targeted, he caught the ball. That's awesome. I wish he would have got a touchdown out of all that, but he didn't. Juwan Jennings got 2 touchdowns, 7 receptions for 90 yards, and he was targeted 8 times, so 7 for 8. That's really good. Isaac Rendo, his 2 touchdowns were by passes. So, oh no, I'm sorry, his 2 touchdowns were by rushes, but he did catch 2 passes. I misread that. 2 passes for 50 yards, which is pretty good. Everybody else was kind of 1 catch here, 1 catch there. Debo only caught 2 for 22. And otherwise, it was a really good team effort. Defense held up really well that game. Let's see if there were sacks. Oh, yes. Yenter Gross-Matos had 3 sacks. I think he was the defensive player of the week because of his outstanding performance that game. 4 solo tackles, really great great job for him. Hufanga had some good tackles too. Let's see who else did. Anyone else get sacked? Oh, Leonard Floyd got 2 sacks that game too. 5 total sacks. No, 6 total sacks. Malik Collins missing all these sacks here, and it says 7. So we got Malik Collins with 1, Leonard Floyd with 2, most Gross-Matos with 3, but that only I don't see the other person that got a sack. Maybe it was 2 half sacks. So still, it's overall really great game for the 49ers against the Bears. Yes, you hear the thing, oh, it's just the Bears, but any given Sunday, any team can pull off something. So it doesn't matter how good or bad the team is, you still got to play your heart out. And the 49ers did just that against the Bears. Unfortunately, they didn't do quite as well on Thursday night. So let's go over that right quick. Thursday night, it was very, very opposite of this past one, the Bears game. And get the full box scores up behind my camera here. Purdy, 14 of 14 of his passes out of 31 attempts were caught. 142 yards total. 4.6 average. Matthew Stafford himself really wasn't that much better. He got two more passes off, actually that were caught. But his numbers, 160 yards total. So his numbers weren't all that great either. This is a defensive game, and unfortunately, our defense. I still think our defense did an awesome job. It could have done better, but it did a good enough job. It was our offense that unfortunately did not do as well as we were hoping. George Kittle, 4 receptions, 61 yards. Juwan Jennings, 2 catches for 31 yards. Juwan Jennings was targeted 9 times, 2 catches. Some of them were Brock Purdy's fault. Some of them were Juwan Jennings' fault. Some of them were the Rams' defense. They were just doing that good. Isaac Rendo had a couple catches, 4 catches for 18 yards, but he caught all of his targets. So good for him. Debo, 3 receptions for 16 yards. He was targeted 7 times. That one catch in the middle that he dropped, he dropped 2 big ones, but that one that he could have easily gone for the touchdown on, especially after his whole thing about, give me the ball, I want the ball more, I could do more, and we force feed him it, and look what happens. So a lot of people, I'm sure, because of that game, the score ended up being 12-6. No touchdowns for either team, all field goals, and 3 of the field goals by LA were in the 4th quarter. So we were actually winning again into the 4th quarter and lost. I don't blame our defense on this. Our defense did a good job. This one was on our offense, and I believe Brock, as normal, took the responsibility, as a good quarterback should. No sacks. Fred Warner had 8 solo tackles. Dre Greenlaw, 3 solo tackles. Those were the top guys in solo tackles. Jair Brown had 4 solo tackles. Traverius Ward had 3. Leonard Floyd had 3. But otherwise, Nick Bosa had 2. He had 3 quarterback hits, though. He almost got, he hit the quarterback. He just couldn't get there for the sacks. But this game was lost because of the offense, not because of the defense. It could have gone better. I wish it had gone better. Unless some miracle happens today, Seattle losing and Arizona losing, which, as I'm recording this, it is the 2nd quarter with 2 minutes to go, and Arizona is leading 10-3, but New England has the ball. So we can hope that Arizona loses and then Seattle loses to Green Bay. That's going to be a good game tonight. I'm definitely going to watch that. But our chances now have gone to about 1% of making the playoffs. Now, a lot of us have already come out and, let's just be realistic. We aren't going to get the playoffs. We're going to just keep going and worry about next year. The team is not built that way. We as fans might think, all right, it's time to, start the rebuild process for next year, and let's not put our starters in, and let's rest people. And the team is not built that way. As much as us fans, I'm not going to say I'm one of them because I'm not. And I fully respect all the faithful fans on their opinions on the matter. You're no less a fan if you think one thing or another. You're a fan. I have no doubt in my mind. But realistic speaking, there's a lot of fans out there that are saying, "All right, let's call it a season and be done and start thinking about next year already." As much as I want to pray and hope, and I hope for the best, plan for the worst, I guess. I hope that we still can pull something out of our rear ends and make the playoffs. A lot of weird things got to happen. I'll go into that more after next week's game because it'll be more narrowed down. We'll know a little bit more. But yeah, there's a lot of funny things that are going to happen for us to make the playoffs. And if we do, I don't think it's going to be by winning the division. It's going to be that wild card seventh, where we'll be the seventh round in the playoffs. So we'll be that number 7 if we make it. So let's just go 1 week at a time. The team is not going to put backups in. They're just not that built that way. So, as for still a little bit more on the Rams game, the whole Devondre Campbell thing. The last thing I read was that the team was not going to drop him per se because they want to save money on the whole thing. They're just not gonna, you're not playing anymore. You're on the team still, but you're not playing anymore, kind of thing. So we can salvage some money that we don't have to pay you now because you're not playing. Because if we just let him drop, we have to pay him the rest of the season. I think there's some money thing involved here. So he's not playing, period. And even if we were to drop him, no other team I think would ever pick him up. The man, I do not believe he will play professional football again. Even if he tried to go to the UFL, I don't think they'd take him either. So what happened with him, I'm just shocked. It is. I've never heard of something like this. Didn't some receiver, I want to say Beckham, but I don't think it was, did something similar. He kind of, but it was at the end of the game, and he kind of just took off his shoulder pads and left. But that was at the end of the game. Didn't affect the game. This, they were going to call him and say, "Hey, go in," and no, sorry, I'm not gonna. Really, it's unheard of. It's crazy. I cannot believe this man did this to our team. It's just horrible. I don't think what he did affected the final result of the game. Just the way that the offense was playing. So, but it's still, talk about, it's just horrible. All the things that other players on the team have gone through this year, Ricky Pearsall getting shot, Javarius Ward's daughter dying, Trent Williams still trying to come back. He's still fighting to come back, and he lost both his kids. It's nuts. And he just, I don't want to do it anymore. No, this team has gone through a lot this season. Injuries, personal issues with the team, and that's something that everyone has to realize. Yes, Javarius Ward is just one player, but he's on the team. What happened to him and his daughter passing away? What happened with Trent and his twins passing away? What happened with Ricky Pearsall, him being shot? All of that affects the whole team. So as a fan, I know a lot of people are frustrated and upset and crazy about the way the whole season's gone. And yeah, some of this didn't happen back when we were losing in the first part of the season too. But I'm giving this whole season off. Just it's a pass. If we pull off a miracle and we end up in playoffs, great. But if we don't, it's still okay. They're still my team. I'm not giving up on them. We'll be back next year. But I'm giving them a pass this year. It's been a rough year. So, with that, next week we play. Let me see. I think it's Miami. We play Miami next week, I believe. I think it's even in Miami. I think we've had a couple home games, so I think it's a in Miami game. Yeah. We're according to ESPN, we're looking like we're supposed to win that game, but we'll see. I hope we do. Hopefully, because of the long break, because of Thursday night, maybe we'll get Trent Williams back. We'll see. It's just gonna be an interesting time until the end of the season to see what happens. But either way, I give us a pass this year. So let's be fair. Let's be honest. Rough season. Lots of things have happened that affected the whole team. I think it's only fair. So, with that said, good luck to our team next week against Miami. Current score again for Arizona and New England. Minute and 7 seconds left to go. Arizona has the ball. Arizona has 10. New England has 3. But you never know. New England can come back in the second half. Let's hope they do. And with that said, you all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I'll be posting a few shorts between now and next Sunday. So hope to see you then. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And go Niners!